It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight reviews of She Loves Me, Bright Star, and the Royale, plus the Drama Desk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two on the Aisle. And good evening, Leslie.
Good evening, Charlie. And here we go. Notice we're on the couch, not on the aisle tonight. This is we're doing an at-home version for tonight.
We'll be back in the studio in a couple of weeks, but well, things are just so busy on Broadway and off-Broadway these days, we thought we'd relax a bit.
Yeah, it's the only relaxation we're going to get before the end of the Drama Desk and the Tony Awards.
Yes. But we have some really interesting shows tonight, starting with She Loves Me. This is She Loves Me's third time on Broadway. It was the first show that Hal Prince directed. It gave Barbara Cook her signature song, Ice Cream. Mm-hmm. It was revived off-Broadway, then moved to Broadway a little over 20 years ago by the Roundabout Theatre, one of their first big musical hits, directed by Scott Ellis. Same director. Not quite the same production. Doesn't have the same leading character as they did with Cabaret. It has Zachary Levi from Chuck and Laura Benatti from Supergirl and a whole bunch of so many wonderful theater things. Unfortunately, it meant we lost her as the Drama Desk host this year.
She was charming. She was such a good host. She very off the cuff, very improv. She just goes with the flow.
But I will say, this is one of my all-time favorite musicals. Bach and Harnick did the score. There are few, if any, musicals that have a better blending of book, music, and lyrics than She Loves Me.
Except there are other musical Fiddler on the Roof.
All right, Fiddler on the Roof, yes.
I love her, isn't that a wonder? I wonder why I didn't want her. I want her, that's the thing that matters. And matters are improving daily. Yesterday I loathed her, now today I love her. And tomorrow, I'm tingling, such delicious tingles. I'm trembling, what the hell does that mean? I'm freezing, that's because it's cold out. And still I'm incandescent, and like some adolescent, I'd like to scrawl on every wall I see. She loves me, she loves me.
Fiddler on, but even I think She Loves Me does a better blending of it. Okay. Fiddler is an incredible musical. Yeah. I think Fiddler is one of the best musicals of. If it be My Fair Lady, Fiddler, and then She Loves Me would certainly be in the top 10. And I should mention that Joe Masteroff wrote the book, and it's based on the movie The Shop Around the Corner. Mm-hmm. Two clerks work in a perfumery in Europe. They are members of a Lonely Hearts Club, so they've been corresponding, but they don't know that the other is their correspondent.
Their letters say dear friend, and they don't know that each other is the dear friend. That's
right. And when they meet in real life, again, not knowing who the other is, they really can't stand each other. Plus a bit of a subplot involving the owner of the shop, and someone's having an affair with his wife, and he's a little mistaken as to who it is. But all in all...
And the movie was James Stewart, and I must say that Zachary Levi did have a very Jimmy Stewart kind of quality, sort of aw shucks and shyness.
I didn't think about that until now, but you're absolutely right.
He did a really nice job on it. He wasn't doing Jimmy Stewart, but it had that same aw shucks quality.
Yes, well, that's kind of his trademark when you think about it.
Well, he's a villain. He's a villain on.
But he was a hero on Chuck.
Yes. Sure.
And he's certainly a hero now.
He was feckless on Chuck. He didn't know what the hell was going on.
This I think it's his second outing musical on Broadway, and he really does an excellent job. I mean, he's teamed up with Laura Benatti, who is...
They're
I found her coming on a little strong at first, but I loved her performance. I mean, just hearing her do Ice Cream.
Last night, I was so nasty. Well, he deserved it, but even so... He's not like this George. This is a new George that I don't know. Somehow it all reminds me may seem, he came to offer me ice
Wonderful. Or just a few minutes before, "Where's My Shoe?" Again, two of my favorite numbers from the from the show.
Well, you did mention when we talked before. You said something about Roz Russell, and I know
Right,
what you mean
right.
about that.
She was a little too Rosalind Russell at times, I think, for this character.
But I didn't. I thought she was terrific, and I think she's so beautiful, and she
She
seems
is.
like an angel. So I just love that woman. I really
And
do.
since we're talking supervillains, she was both hero and villain on
Yes.
Supergirl this year. In
Yeah.
fact, I wonder if after she got the roles confused, she'd have a fight with Supergirl and then bring her vanilla ice cream the next day.
Right. Only you would think that, Charlie. Nobody else.
Well, that, and it's a shame that the two of them couldn't have been exposed to red kryptonite and go into a
Just
karaoke bar together.
Charlie, let's just go on with this. We have so much to talk about.
Okay, come on.
Anyway.
Come on, all those years on Law and Order, Jerry Orbach never went into a karaoke bar. Come on.
Can we?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Everything is wonderful about this show. The performances, Jane Krakowski.
Yeah, Jane Krakowski.
I don't know if she's ever played a hero or a villain, but she does these beautiful splits, and that's just the tip of the iceberg with her. She,
No pun intended, right?
Right.
And there was this dear, sweet, clearly respectable, thickly bespectacled man who stood by my side and quietly said to me, "Ma'am, don't mean to intrude, but I was just wondering, are you in need of some help?" I said no. Yes, I am. The next thing I know, I'm sipping hot chocolate and telling my troubles to Paul, whose tender brown eyes kept sending compassionate looks. A trip to the library has made a new girl of me, for suddenly I can see the magic of books.
She plays the cashier in the shop who's being led on by the cad who works in the shop, and watching their relationship and how she handles it, and just in general her with Benatti. Really beautiful chemistry with this cast.
Yeah.
Beautiful show.
Yeah, and they look. Everybody looks right too.
Yes.
It's and the set is darling. I've forgotten who did the set on this. Is it on the front page? It tells you down there at the bottom. I can't see it from here. I think that's it.
Well, the orchestrations by Larry Hotchman are great. David Rockwell.
David Rockwell, of course. How could I forget David Rockwell? He's up for a Tony for the set design on that.
Right. Michael McGrath as
McGrath.
one of the other clerks. Brian Jennings as the store owner. Peter Barlett in one scene as a maitre d' trying to keep order in his restaurant.
Peter Bartlett, my new neighbor in my new building.
Yes. I mean, really,
Hello, Peter.
just a perfectly beautiful revival of a beautiful show, and I will give this 5 playbills and a recommendation. Let this be She Loves Me's Chicago revival.
Ah, very good.
All right,
yeah.
Chicago didn't do well the first time. Its revival is one of the longest-running musicals ever. This deserves no less. It's actually a better musical than Chicago. This is a better production, and I highly, highly recommend
It's at
it.
Studio 54, which is an interesting place to see, that kind of old-fashioned in a place that was once a rock and roll, haven.
And had Cabaret as
And
its
had
last
Cabaret.
tenant.
Yeah. I would definitely say I agree with you between 4.5 and 5. Everything works on that show. I waved before. I just want you to notice this is my cast. This is my battle scar from being a critic.
Leslie wanted to be in the cast, but she really put her hand in
Very
it.
funny. Now I'm in the cast. I didn't mean it this way. No, I was sitting in my seat at the theater, not at any of the shows we're talking about. And some guy had to go to the bathroom, and he was so eager to get there that he jumped over everybody, but when he got to me, he missed. And he landed on my arm. So thank you very much. I know who he is. I know where to find him. I can't sue him because he's a kid, so, Anyway, that's the end of that.
Kind of
story.
like David Lefkowitz in his recent show, The Miracle of Long John's. David is a colleague of ours. He had this show off Broadway very briefly. He's hoping to bring it back. And he talks about his life as a theater critic, which we found very interesting, and then spends most of the second part of the show talking about one evening where he had some severe stomach problems and how he dealt with it, which neither of us particularly
It wasn't
enjoy.
my favorite part of the show, but I
No.
did really like the beginning about the critic. But it doesn't mention getting hurt in the line of duty.
Right.
I-
Right.
so-
Well, Leslie always the expression is break a leg, not an arm. Just
Yes.
so that
Oh,
you know.
thank you, Charlie. That's
you're welcome.
very good. I like that one. You know what? I need my program for the next one,
Okay.
and you have it over there, Bright Star.
Oh, Bright Star. Yes,
No,
we're
you
doing
know,
Bright Star. I'm sorry. I
So
thought we were.
I'm going on to a musical that I did not expect to like.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one of the myriad country western shows. I figure you get one country western show a season. We got about 4 or 5. We got Robert Bridegroom. We've got this one. We got Waitress. We got Southern Comfort off Broadway. So I walked in not being, and I love to tell the stories that way because you can't help sometimes being a little bit. You have feelings about things whether you mean to or not. I was blown away by this musical. It's really terrific. A Star is Born in the new leading lady of Carmen Cusack. I thought she might be the daughter of Jeremy Irons and Sinead Cusack. Might be related to John Cusack. No, she's just a nice girl from Boulder, Colorado, who's getting her Broadway break. A nice
Courtesy of
American-
Steve and Edie.
Yeah, well, the different
As
Steve
in
and
Steve
Edie,
Martin
right.
and Edie.
Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. This is Steve Martin.
Martin.
And Edie Brickell.
Yes, they
But
call themselves
anyway-
the new Steve and Edie.
Yes. Well, they don't. The cast is doing that to them. But anyway, so here's the story. It's 1940s. It has to do with a lost baby, trying to find the parentage of that baby, the mother trying to find her son, a writer trying to get a job. Did I leave anything out? Oh, a mean old man who did something really bad and gets his comeuppance. Did I leave anything out?
I don't.
Oh, and somebody in the second act, a couple get a late life romance that they didn't think they would ever have.
You got the look, you got the feel, you got the face of true love. You got the charm, you got appeal. I got to let you go. Something tells me it'll be alright. Something tells me it's gonna be okay. Sun is gonna shine again. The clouds are rolling right on by. The clouds are rolling on by. The sun is gonna shine again. 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 The sun is gonna shine again.
So it's a happy ending. It's not quite treacly. It goes there. It almost wants to be over sentimental, and it just maybe it's Steve Martin is able to pull it back. The music, it really pushes the show forward. You understand all the lyrics, thank goodness.
You hear the lyrics,
Yes.
which is a very nice thing to be able to say.
And it's
I think I want. I think I
done.
want to get the cast album.
For this one.
Yes.
For Bright Star,
I
there
do.
are a couple of really nice.
There
songs
are
in
there are some nice numbers.
Yes.
I think we also need to mention the writer.
The writer is Steve Martin. It's
No,
Steve
no, no, no,
Martin.
no. In the show, the name of the actor.
the name of the writer. I'm sorry,
Yes.
A.J. Shively, I
Right.
believe is his
What
name.
what I
Right.
found interesting, it starts off focusing on the writer.
Yeah.
Then it focuses on Cusack's character, who is a magazine editor, and it kind of suddenly shifts, and you're wondering why. Why it's focusing on one character and suddenly on a character with seemingly no relation. And I figured the reason out by the end of the first act, but I still ended this play with a smile on my face and a tear in my eye.
Well, I like that. You said something about Chicago before. This is by the director of Chicago. Is
Walter
this
Bobby.
Show. It's Walter Bobby. Not that She Loves Me was Scott Ellis. I'm
Correct.
not sure which one you said that about. Anyway, so this is it's doing very nicely. It got several Tony nominations. It got several Drama Desk nominations. I went in not thinking it was going to be anything, and there's nothing better for a critic who goes in going, oh, I don't really want to see this, to come out and say, wow, and to discover a new star, and that's Carmen Cusack, who is nominated for a Tony and also for a Drama Desk Award. So more power to this show. I hope it does well. I don't think it's doing as well at the box office as they would like, and I hope that all the award season and whatnot will give it a push at the box office.
I hope so.
I
I
give it
hope
a
so.
4.5. I really
I
like
think I would go between 3.5 and 4.
Okay.
I think maybe closer to 4. I enjoyed it also,
Okay.
and I do recommend this. Another show that unfortunately I would recommend, but probably won't be around by the time you see this, is the Royale. Leslie, I think you've called this the Great White Hope, and this is Jay the Sport Johnson, I think.
Jack Johnson. I don't know about Jay. The real guy
Well,
it's
they
based
call,
on
they
is
call
Jack Johnson.
right, but they call him Jay here.
Okay.
And this is a black boxer in the early 1900s who has a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world. And, with the revival of the color purple, you'd think, well, we've had basically the last word about the black experience. But this approaches it from a very different angle in that Jay's sister comes to confront him and says, look, what you're doing is going to be a problem because people will not accept a black man as heavyweight champion. You're thinking, all right, something like this will elevate the black people, give them someone to look up to. But she's saying it would so antagonize the white community. And again, we don't think about something like that because, this is an era where we have a black president, but things were very, very different 100 years ago.
Yes, I would think so. Yes,
And-
and the Great White Hope was, for its time, was
Right.
because it was about the relationship he had with a white woman, and that was very difficult. That was the interracial aspect. But this is really just about the boxing, except there's no boxing.
Right.
There are boxers, beautiful bodies, a lot of beautiful bodies on Broadway this year.
Indeed.
But they, because of the direction by Rachel Chafkin, who also did the great Comet, which was based on the War and Peace, it's highly stylized and it works very well. And yet, as you might, when we talked about it, you mentioned Rocky, and it's so different because in Rocky they really threw punches. Here, nobody touches anybody. The two guys are in the ring punching air, but the punches land and they move back. It's choreographed like a dance, and it's and beautifully done. And every time somebody's hit, there's a stamping on the ground to make the noise. Very effective,
Right.
extremely
So I think between that and the way the author Marco Ramirez has structured it, it really gives you a new take
yes, definitely.
on a very, very time-worn
Yes.
theme, and it makes it interesting. And to me, again, I would give this 4 playbills.
Well, and I would agree with you on 4. I might go as high as 4.5. And I will say that the Drama Desk, to which Charlie and I both belong,
Yes.
I've now become the historian of the Drama Desk. I don't know what that means. I'm old.
It means your history.
It means I'm old. No, I'm still here, so I'm not history yet. But the thing about this is that we nominated it both for Best Play and Best Director. And I have to say that's because we go across the board. We do off-Broadway, off-Broadway, and
We're really the only one organization that does
I
that.
think the OCC does it, is the Outer Critics Circle does
Also-
it, but we're the only
Right.
ones who...
I also, I think, just getting back to the Royale for a minute,
Yeah.
I think we have to mention Chris Davis as the boxer.
Absolutely.
Excellent performance.
And the young woman is Montego... I'm sorry, I'm going to get her name wrong. Montego
Glover.
who I believe was in Motown, and she's exceptional as
Yes.
well. It's beautifully done piece.
It
really
is.
Holds
It is,
together
and
very
I
well.
hope it will have a post off Broadway
Yes, and I
life.
was so pleased to see it nominated among the other... Speaking of nominations, we should start to talk about that.
Okay.
This is the season. We have
Indeed.
the 61st Drama Desk Award and the 70th Tony Award this
Right.
year. And they're notable in most cases in the Tonys by what who didn't get nominated.
That's always the most interesting part.
Well, Hamilton won 16 nominations.
Surprise!
Well, but it broke all the old records. The difference is that we gave it all our awards last year. I think we gave it 15 awards or 12 last
So
year.
Hamilton will not be part of the Drama Desk because this is the off Broadway. This is essentially the off Broadway production, and we consider it the same production. Therefore, it
Right.
would not be eligible.
Right. The same thing is going to happen with Blackbird when I talk about that later, except that it was a different actor.
That'll be on our next show.
It's a different actress in a different show. I know, I said in the next show. But anyway, so Lin-Manuel Miranda is, he just won the Pulitzer Prize. He got a MacArthur Genius Grant. The man is exceptional. And he's so sweet. He's so nice. He's so approachable. And the thing is, he's nominated.
And he's
Leslie
going to
Odom.
rent a U-Haul to carry all the Tonys home.
Well, the thing is that he and Leslie Odom Jr. were both nominated in the Best Actor category, which means they may knock each other out. And no,
I think they do that in the play already.
They did well. One gets shot, but it may nullify both of them.
He's
and-
going to get a Tony too.
Well, maybe we'll see what happens.
I think the show's going to win Best Play, Best Musical,
gonna
Best
go across the
Best
board.
Score, Best Direction, Best Actor.
Well-
It may not, it may not win some of the lesser awards, but there is just such a. It's
But
like
it's got a nomination in just about every category there
Yeah.
is for just about everything. So
Yes.
it's interesting, and of course, it's not on the Drama Desk list at all this year.
Which means we have a much more interesting contest because you don't know who's going to actually win it.
Well, that's true, and we have a crust. I mean, I would like to talk about the drama desk. I mean, obviously, it's the one we're
Let's talk.
part of, but there's some really interesting. For example, Avi Hoffman, who did Death of a Salesman in Yiddish. So, Death of a Salesman in Yiddish as a revival got a nomination, and Avi Hoffman, who is an old friend of I've interviewed him several times. You probably know him from some of the shows. He has a show that he calls Too Jewish, and then there's Too Jewish Too, which is kind of, and he has a theater company in Florida.
And we're waiting for Too Jewish.
Yes, well, yeah, you don't say that because he'll probably grab it and do it. But in any case, and we had talked about Death of a Salesman in Yiddish when we saw, saying that it almost sounded like, oh no, that was the other one that we talked about, which the
Godot.
Godot, yes, all right. But anyway, so I think this is marvelous that the differences in what we do, and how our awards are spread out. So that's it. You know, I just wanted
Okay.
I just wanted
Well,
to bring
I
it
think
forward.
one of the most egregiously overlooked, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know how egregiously it really was Audra McDonald, because
We
she's
haven't
kind of
seen
like the Meryl Streep of Broadway. You expect her,
Absolutely.
she sneezes, they nominate her,
But
and she was
everybody-
not nominated for Shuffle Along.
Shuffle Along has everybody who's won Tonys. It's got a Billy Porter who won for Kinky Boots. It's got Brian Stokes Mitchell who's won for everything. It's got George C. Wolfe who's won for everything, and Audra McDonald. So with all of those people nominated, none of those people got nominations from the Drama Desk. Interesting. The Tonys left out other people as well. The Tonys left her out as well, Audra McDonald. So that's a big. It's interesting. I don't know how I would feel if I were Audra McDonald and I didn't get a nomination. I really wonder how that
Well,
would
I
be.
think hasn't she won more Tonys than any other actress?
6 or 7.
I think it's
at least.
6. I think she'll,
Yeah.
she'll,
She'll be. You think she'll be okay?
I think she'll manage.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to saying I think that this is our show for this time
Okay. And when you go to the theater, look for Leslie and me, us too.
on the couch.
There are probably some theaters with couches.
Yes. Well, remember when we went to the Zipper? The Zipper had couches.
They had old car seats.
They did. They had all kinds of things, but their couches too. Okay.
Good night.
Will he like me? I don't know. All I know is that I'm tempted not to go. Oh, it's insanity for me to worry so. I'll try not to. Will he like me? He's just got to. Will he like me? Will he like me?
I wish I knew exactly how I'll act and what will happen when we dine tonight at 8. I know I'll drop the silverware, but will I spill the water or the wine tonight at 8? Tonight I'll walk right up and sit right down beside the smartest girl in town, and then it's anybody's guess. More and more I'm breathing less and less. In my imagination I can hear our conversation taking shape tonight at 8. I'll sit there saying absolutely nothing, or I'll jabber like an ape tonight at 8. 2 more minutes, 3 more seconds, 10 more hours to go. I'll know when this is done if something's ended or begun, and if it goes all right, who knows, I might propose tonight at 8.
He brought me ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Imagine that ice cream. And for the first time, we were together without a scratch. Friendly, he was so friendly. That isn't like him. I'm silly stunned. Will wonders never cease. Will wonders never cease. It's been the most peculiar day.
I'm tingling, such delicious tingles. I'm trembling, what the hell does that mean? I'm freezing, that's because it's cold out. And still I'm incandescent, and like some adolescent, I'd like to scrawl on every wall I see. She loves me. She loves me.
You got the look, you got the feel, you got the face of true love. You got the charm, you got appeal. I got to let you go. Something